out of a lot of these extra unnecessary apps real quick.
Same here. Gonna close out this drive. All right, we're live. Hold up. Checking the sound quality. I had to change my sound quality recently.
Apps real quick.
All right, cool. All right, looks like our sound is good. All right, and here we are. Check it out. I'm P. Miller with Underground Voices, and today we are being blessed with the opportunity to hang out with one of my favorite MCs in the city of Austin. Now, I know I've been told that I'm the king of hyperbole, and I definitely like to exaggerate because I think I think that's how you should talk. You should talk big whenever you can. But I say this with no hesitation that this man has one of the greatest gifts with the pen in the city. And the only person he's second to is himself when he's trying to be greater than himself. So really quick, as we get started, why don't we give it up for the main man, Salus Herb. Give it up, 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 give it up. Yo, I just realized as I Yo.
There we go. Oh man, my bad about that.
Yo, I just gave you the best intro.
Oh my god.
Yo, man, I hyped you up. Yo, you know what? When this is done, take the vocal sample from it and put it on a track. Do it for me.
Oh, bet.
Do it for me.
No, man. Man, I'm gonna have to play that back, man. Now I feel absolutely terrible.
Oh man, no, man. I should have said that.
Bro, I was all cleaning up my stuff and I accidentally closed out of the fucking Zoom app.
I saw that. Yo, as I was wrapping it up and I did the little applause. I did that, and as I did that, I was waiting for you to say something, and I said, "Oh no, he's not here." But that's what we like here, man. We like that.
Man, that's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant, man.
Dude, we like that ad hoc style here, man. We're underground voices for a reason, man. We're here to uplift everybody. You know what I mean?
Look, man, I do.
Uh-oh, you cut out a second. What'd you say? You cut out a second. What'd you say?
Yeah, you're good. You're good. I do freestyle shows all the time, man. So like improv and shit like that just comes natural at this point, man.
Yo, let me ask you about that really quick before we get into the nitty gritty. Yo, I saw you recently at the freestyle show at Revival Coffee, and you were killing it. How do you have the stamina to freestyle for what seems like hours? And where do you ever?
It was hours.
It was hours. Okay.
It was
Okay.
it was a 2.5 hour set, and we actually do that every month. Every second Thursday of every month at Revival.
Man, I've been meaning to come check it out. I've been swamped, but I've been meaning to come check out the next ones.
Freestyle bars, man. You're welcome to hop on stage. We do guest ciphers at the end, man.
I don't have freestyle bars, but I like freestyling. I think it's super fun. You know?
That's actually where I started. I actually freestyled for years before I really started like writing seriously.
Yeah.
I used to write poetry a lot, and like there was a passion for music. Like I grew up a child of a musician. Like my father.
No kidding.
Part of like the English hair metal invasion. Like he almost played for Whitesnake at one point. He played for some pretty big local groups, and a couple in like South Africa. But because of that, obviously, I grew up, in a pretty musically inclined family.
So, oh wow, I had no clue. That makes a lot of sense now why you're so musically inclined.
It was weird too because, like, my dad, like I said, he's big into, rock. Like, he's through and through classic rock, hair metal. Like, he doesn't even really listen to the most modern metal. Like, he's very much stuck in his time. So when I decided to become a hip hop artist, I thought he was going to be kind of a little bit upset because I wasn't really going necessarily with what he did. but he is actually incredibly supportive. He's like very proud of me and very like me and him talk about music all the time.
That's awesome. I'm glad that you and your dad have a really good connection when it comes to, or just, have a like a bridge that you guys can get cross with each other when it comes to
Oh,
music.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he lives in England right now, so like I try to talk to him like once a week. We usually have like an hour and a half conversation. We just talk about music. Like he actually wants to do some music with me, like some like Rage Against the Machine style
Yes.
tracks. But I was like, that seems like a perfect middle ground for us, because like he can. My dad is a incredible guitar player. You're talking about a dude that was a savant that's literally dedicated like pretty much his whole life to playing guitar, and
Is
he's like 60.
Yo, wow. Okay, that's awesome. Do you
So
find that any of that, like his stylings make his way into your music? Like any genetic
um,
music tastes coming into what you do?
a little bit. I think the hard biting lyrics and sometimes tongue in cheek like satirical style that I'll bring.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, a lot of my style came from like my upbringing outside of like my family, like
Mm.
what I experienced from my environment.
I
Like
was
my
gonna say.
family values still come out in my music, but a lot of it is more like personal discovery than necessarily how my father influenced me. His is
Gotcha.
more how I conduct myself outside of the mic.
I would.
Like how
Yeah.
he was very adamant about musical integrity and not selling himself out, and that definitely reflects with me still to this day.
That's one thing off the mic. That's one thing that I appreciated about you when I met you. I feel like in 2020. I don't know. It was a while ago.
2020, yeah, it was about 2 years ago.
2020. That was my first time trying to host my own, like, purely, and it wasn't even my own. It was a collaboration, and I could tell you more about that later.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let me.
I'd love to hear about that behind closed doors, so to speak.
Yeah, we'll do that offline. But like, it was so cool that you were, first of all, that you answered, because I reached out to you because of the Facebook group, and you were just like, yeah, dude, I'm down. Let me go rap. And I was like, I don't know who this guy is, but just I'm loving his energy just through the screen. And then I met you, and you were just super polite, on time. You were just professional throughout the entire. I was like, what? Why is not everybody working with this man all the time? Because this
I will
guy,
say this, man. For the
yeah,
most part, anybody that's ever worked with me seems like they've come back with a good impression. Like I try to make sure I, conduct myself with integrity, because that's what I would want people to treat me with. So it seems like common sense, but a lot of times people get so caught up in their own feelings and desires. Sometimes they act a little rash and can potentially burn bridges.
yeah, that can definitely happen. I know. For me, I can be very petty sometimes, and I'm working on that.
Yeah, I'm not a saint by any
Yeah,
means.
for
I'm not
sure,
a
for
saint. I
sure.
try to conduct myself with integrity, because I know if I don't, I could come out as a right old asshole
That's,
if I don't.
but that's testament to you though, because like
Yeah,
you're aware of your faults, and or I wouldn't even call them faults. I'd call them your features. You're aware of these features,
yeah, that's just
and
human nature.
yeah, and you definitely try to, uh, you know, keep moving forward. Speaking of,
Exactly.
your just how you are as a
Moving
person,
forward.
moving forward, I want to ask, when it comes to your music, when I first heard it, I clearly understood this is the person who is very in touch with their emotions, or at least they are capable of observing the world in a way that is relatable to anybody else who has gone through something. How much of, uh, you know, how do you toe that line of being a fun, dope lyricist while also being somebody who is getting their feelings out in a way that isn't condescending but very relatable? Like I'm one of you guys too. I go through the same things. How do you toe that line?
Man, man, that is actually a really good question. Um, I actually kind of like toil with this in a lot of regards, especially when I'm like deciding to do projects, because for the most part I'm not really a singles kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have nothing against it, but for the most part, usually if I'm gonna pour my like energy and like emotions and like soul, so to speak, into a whole musical endeavor, I'm usually gonna try to strive for like an EP or an album,
Mm.
just so it just gives me more space to detail the theme. Like I'm very much, anytime I go into a project, it's always some kind of thematic to it, some
Mm.
kind of theme, some kind of concept, something that I feel like I need to address either for personal reasons or from what I've seen from like the outside world, either local or on a much grander scale.
So,
As
mm-hmm. Go on.
sorry, I would say, as for like the actual like writing process itself, a lot of times it starts with like beat selection. Like a lot of times I want to make sure I've got a good chunk of the beats for before I even start breaking ground. Because a lot of times what I'll do is I'll freestyle for a few days on a beat, like kind of marinating on it.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I really find that right cadence, or, you know, some bars that really just kind of gel with the vibe, then I can start really building off of that. Because of the way I freestyle, a lot of times I can kind of freestyle with a direction or a purpose. So if I already have the concept for the beat after hearing it and I start freestyling, it kind of allows me to just set those building blocks, but do it in almost like an unconscious and personal fashion.
Mm.
Because it's
Mm.
like an unfiltered inner self when you freestyle. Because
Mm.
the whole trick to freestyling is not thinking about it, which
Mm.
is a really weird concept for people to grasp. But it's like it almost becomes like muscle memory. Like it's like unconscious therapy. Like freestyling to me is really really good on the days that you're really kind of feeling down and out, because it allows you to express emotions without having to like stop yourself with stopgap measures from your own, you know, kind of mental blocks you put on yourself.
Mm. Would you say that your freestyling is a way for you to reach or like come to terms with whatever you've got going on inside, or it's a way
Yeah,
to bring that out? Is that kind of, would that be fair to say?
absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Like freestyling to me is truly like a form of therapy.
that's awesome. That's awesome. What would, when you say uh with your writing, I know you said sometimes you will start with freestyling. Um
Yeah.
I'm interested in your rhyme scheme. How do you decide?
Uh,
Yeah, go ahead.
Usually I do it. Sometimes I'll kind of do it in like a formulaic fashion. Like I'll do maybe like a 4 bar scheme, or maybe I'll switch it up and do 2 and 3s. But like when it comes to actually concocting the bars themselves,
Yeah.
um, I kind of ride the wave of the song. If the song's a little bit more on a mellow vibe, maybe I won't do anything quite as internal rhyme intensive, and let it kind of flow and smooth so people can really get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Like for example, when you're saying with like time, yesterday when you were reviewing the track,
Yeah.
that that is exactly that. That was that kind of intention. But like with other tracks, like some of the stuff you're probably more used to me, you know, spitting. Like when you see me and Dilla perform, that stuff. It's how can I not overword it, but cleverly contrive with a smooth flow and clever rhymes in it this message in a bombastic way that people will be like, "Damn, how the hell did he come up with that?"
Mm. I find myself asking myself that a lot when I listen to your music. I definitely do. I find myself asking
Thank you,
that
man.
often.
That makes me feel good, man. That
Yeah,
really makes me feel good, because I find that I find myself saying that when I listen to a lot of my homies, man.
dude.
Like I don't know if it's just like a complex as an artist, but you're always like you feel proud of yourself, but then like you'll compare yourself to your friends who are incredibly talented, and it just seems like they're so much further ahead than you. In reality, they're not.
Right, they're just like you. You know, we're like, yeah, we're kind of in the
Exactly.
same space. But I believe. Let me know your opinions on this. I've always thought this. I've always thought that, like, and hey, I shouldn't take all my life lessons and quotes from A Tribe Called Quest, but I do take some of them.
Oh
Uh,
man, I live by the tribe, bro. So
dude,
I'm with you, bro.
Q-Tip said, and I want to say, what song was it? We got it going on. I don't remember the song, but I don't remember how it sounds. He said, competition within, it brings out the vital parts. What I took that to say was, yeah. What I took that to say was, like, your competition is with it is with everybody else, but that competition within you is what's going to make you greater. Do you find yourself when you're writing? We're going to talk a lot about your writing. I hope that's okay.
Yeah.
That's
I love it. I
hope that's okay.
It's more like my background and shit. It's nice for someone to actually really be like kind of digging into my writing process, because this helps me process it too and put it into words, because most of this stays internal, you know.
That's awesome. Hey man, I'm here for that, because like that's what I care about. When you when you're writing, are you the type of person that's like, hey, I have to do better than this? Or do you have a bar that you've already set for yourself and you're like, all right, as long as I match this, I'm okay? Or are you always trying to do better than your last song? Yeah.
I think for a lot of regards, as it's almost necessary for artists to always strive to better themselves, because the whole point of this journey is growth. So obviously, every time I make a project, I'm hoping that it's the best project I've ever done. That is obviously something I would always strive for sure. As for, do I specifically hold that as the only trademark? Not necessarily. Like, I feel like if a song is done good enough justice and I feel really proud of it, it doesn't matter necessarily how it holds itself compared to some of my other material.
How do you know you're done with a track? That makes me want to know, like, how do you know that you're done? You know what I'm saying? What is a Salus Herb seal of approval? This track is ready to be heard by other people, not including myself and my friends who've already heard it. I'm ready to put this out into the wild. How do you know?
That's tough. Because a lot of regards it's like a push and pull. Like, the perfectionist in me always wants to continue working and building on the track. But then you end up being like a Jay Electronica, where you sit on music for literally forever.
Shouts out to Jay Electronica. Big fan of the show. Big fan.
He's an amazing artist, but bro, he's infamous for that. Like, that is something that, like, people have kind of held against him.
Yeah.
But I mean, some people are like that. They're not happy until the project is just like absolutely perfect. But that could take years to develop. Me, a lot of times there's just this moment. It's like a gut feeling. I don't know how to explain it. There's no necessarily logic to it. It just, at a certain point, I just feel like this is ready. And if I continue to keep fighting, I'm going to keep fighting and finding excuses not to drop it. And when you just find that gut feeling sometimes with stuff like that, it may not be the most logically sound strategy, but at least it gives me comfort and conviction with it. If you're going to drop a project, you have to have conviction. You have to believe in the project you're dropping, or why are you even going to the trouble of showing it to the world?
I cannot agree more with that. I believe that we all need to operate under that. Like, you have to be your own biggest fan. Really quick, to everybody listening or that will be listening, there might be a quick drop because Zoom is telling me that we're running out of time, so we may need to reconnect in a moment. So if there is a drop, Salus, I'll reconnect with you, and then we'll reshare. It looks like that was it. In the meantime, guys, while we're connecting, I'm going to play some music by Salus Herb. We're going to play Style Wars off of his new stuff. So stay tuned, and I will be right back.
Yeah. Car and shit that was a scroll, like, one of them scrolls. And the next car scheme had, a cop character.
Let me give you a graph tip before you hit the streets. Better practice. Legends will enjoy seeing toys get the ass whipped. You can't just Just scribble all your words over anyone. That's an easy way to drop your head like a feather, son. We get it done. Tagging any street, any weather, run away from the cops. Hopscotching out the setting when it's going correct. All sketch with 7 different cans. Vintage man, flipping tags, flaring when I flip the hand. Bomb till death, then stretched even when with the slams. Been getting at it since just a kid, like a simple plan. Get the gab, hitting off the grass, giving graph tips. Get the can, shaking like a ass, doing backflips. Back from cornbread, on the scheme, onto macro. Every dope piece will begin with the pencil. Got the backpack full, then let's roll. Got the man Salus, keep it 6 on a fence post, whoa.
I can only laugh and keep from crying, because what happens is I don't really think he knows how silly that sounds. He's going all city. I mean, to what end? And when I asked him, he says to me, well, just so people see it and they know who I am. Nobody knows who he is.
6 caps, 6 cans, 1 wall and 1 plan. 1 hand, 1 man, living as a denizen, a resident of the street when he's walking on his beat. When the paint flying is when he feels complete. Make a mark, create a spark, manifest with your mind, paint with your heart, and be true to your grind. A rap for the pillars while you paint the designs. I'll get the cobra like we do in the deuce dime. Kicking fat raps by the train tracks. Backpacks fat with cans and blunt raps. Dope tracks blast with smoke and good laughs. Watching Maximo attack another patch. A brick that was simply calling his name. Slick with dope murals is his claim to fame. Him and Mercer put most of you toys to shame. Real G's in the game, only throwing up flames. So as they paint the walls and we drop bars, Dylan doing both cause he goes hard. Salus kicking rap, smoking up like a czar. Flows going strong, looking out for cop cars.
With art already. And I did me a piece.
All right. That was Style Wars by the main Salus Herb. I think we've got our connections all fixed up. Salus, are you there? Uh-oh. He might not be here. Hold on. Can you hear me, bro? Yes, sir. We're still figuring this one out here. Let's make sure. I'll message him really quick, see if he can hear me.
Yep, I can hear you, buddy.
There he goes. There he is.
I was running to grab a water real quick while I had that 40 seconds. I was like, all right, we'll just run downstairs. It's the perfect time.
Hey, that was perfect. The timing that felt, if we didn't have the slight pauses, that would sound perfect. Let's give an applause for us really quick. Oh my gosh, it sounds great. Yo, speaking of chemistry, yo, I gotta say, you and Darks, that's another MC in Austin, have excellent.
Yeah, a fellow Ideal Collective member, I might add.
Excellent chemistry. Just
man.
Oh my gosh, it's fantastic.
So,
I love seeing you guys work.
I guess this is a good opportunity, to get into a little bit more about Ideal Collective since we're, bringing up other members.
Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's bring it up.
Yeah, so I guess first off, I should list all the members of Ideal, and then I can kind of go back into Darks, and if we want to touch up into some of the other members and everything, we can too. We got time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we got time.
So Ideal Collective, it was something I created as kind of an inspiration from like Native Tongue and Rhyme Sayers and groups like that. And basically, I brought together a lot of MCs that I genuinely kind of fucked with and just really liked their style and just how they conducted themselves. And I thought, I could help them. Ideal Collective is a label, but it's a non-contractual label. I don't hold anyone to any obligations. It's a mutual agreement that we all are trying to elevate each other to a better place. We're making a fertile garden for us all to grow out of, so to speak.
Okay.
So Ideal consists of me, Salus Herb. You got Darks, Levi Deadman, Diligence, who you've also met.
Yeah, I met him.
Lewis, Roski, and Grins. Now, Cap and Roski you might not be familiar with because I believe they joined after I met up with you.
Yeah, I don't know those two. The only ones I know is Levi, Deadman, you, Darks, and Dilla.
Yeah, Grins is a little bit of a bit of a hidden figure. We have some stuff in the works, but he should start making his appearance with Ideal. He actually has a verse in the set we're doing in November.
Excellent.
I'm really excited about, man, because I've been wanting to include him, but it's just he's dealing with a lot. Like, I don't want to get in too much about it.
Right, that's his business.
It's not my place, but he's dealing with a lot. So I've been kind of empathetic and patient with him.
Yeah.
But I think it's definitely high time for him to show some shine because he's an incredibly talented MC.
I mean, all of you guys. I mean, I find that people of a certain quality tend to stick together, and all of you. And
Exactly.
if you're any indicator, then all of you guys are excellent at what you do. You guys have owned your craft, and you guys continue to grow. So I'm honestly very excited to see that show. I'll be there in November.
I can't wait, man. I can't
dude.
wait. Hey, you know what, man?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to bless you with something. I'm gonna bless you with some Ideal merch.
What?
Yeah.
This is
treat, man.
This is the first Underground Voices hang sesh where I get merch. Let's keep this ball rolling. I want merch from all my guests.
Hey, man, that's how you're supposed to treat an influencer, man. You want to show love, man. That's diplomacy, bro.
Bro, I'm slowly turning into one, and I'm not sure if I like that shit.
Hey,
I'm kidding.
Nah, you're a good voice for the platform, man. I'd much rather a cat like you have some kind of influence on people than some of these other people I've seen as influencers.
Damn, dude.
I'm not gonna throw names. But
No, yeah.
there's some very toxic individuals with a lot of pull.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you know what? Let's talk about it. Not that specifically, because we're not in the business of tearing people down.
Shade. No,
Yeah, we're not.
Shade specifically. I'm just more throwing a generalization.
Yeah,
to address the issue.
Well, what I do want to talk about is, so with your style of hip hop, where do you find your lane in Austin? Because that's where we are, and I know you've traveled to do your music a few times, I'm sure.
Yeah. Austin is hard. Honestly, it's still a very weird city when it comes to hip hop. In some regards, it does support it, and others, it doesn't. Like, it still very much seems more like a traditional blues rock city. Like, it's a lot easier as a rock group and a blues group to get a gig in Austin. And I'm not trying to knock anything.
No, that's not what we're doing.
But it just seems like the market and audience tends to still favor that a little bit. Like, Austin has really strong rock and blues foundations. I mean, Stevie Ray Vaughan hailed from here, and he is like a legend of the city. You know what I'm saying?
No, absolutely.
But to go into how do I get gigs? I mean, really, it's ironic, but it actually started with me going out of my city. Like, most of my first years of performing were solely in San Antonio.
Really?
And then from there, I kind of built some connections, and some Austin artists came out and, performed on shows with me, and I've kind of built a network from there. And then I was very fortunate enough to get in touch with CHHK, Jason and them.
Yeah, shouts out to CHHK, man.
Oh, incredible individuals. Like, if there's people that you want to do business with in Austin, they are one of the first ones I would recommend, because Jason will always keep it 100% with you. He will run a business. He will make sure that things are set up right and you don't get screwed over. Like, he very much helped me as not only an artist but as a label head how to conduct myself.
I actually reached out to him a little while ago, and he doesn't know me at all. I've met him once, and I'm sure he doesn't remember me.
Which in his defense, he meets a lot of people.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm sure he doesn't remember me, but I reached out to him, and he was helping me, who was a veritable stranger, and he gave me a lot of advice. So shouts out to Jason, the professor off of CHHK. Those guys are fantastic.
That whole camp is nothing but good people. I have nothing but love for every single member, and they got a large lineup now. They got like 10, 12 people.
Wow, it's up to 10 now?
Yeah, man. Like, the list is like, hold on, let me see if I can get them all.
Yeah.
It's Pete the Culprit, Mike Trey, Big Mike, Big Tree for Real, Jason the Professor, Il Sil, Tall Kyle, Evita, and I think ATX Cypher is also a member of CHHK now. So they're up to 10 people.
Wow. So I remember when I said that you guys were the Wu-Tang of Austin. I don't know anymore.
I know.
I
They cold on the mic, man. I'm not even going to like pretend to even humor a beef with them. Like I'm
yeah,
not, man, we
he
can't
said
hold our
humor a
own.
beef.
My people are cold as fuck. But
Oh, y'all are cold.
I know some real killers too when I see them. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you
Like,
recognize it. Yeah.
oh yeah. I mean, I got a track with Jason. I'm sitting on that's actually dropping with my project with MC Righteous. The ones that Pride, Time, and them are on.
Oh, excellent. MC Righteous.
Yeah.
I don't think I know it. I don't think I know them.
Incredibly talented engineer. He runs Mez Records.
Mez Records? Okay.
He mostly kind of is staying behind the scenes, but he does stuff for like Abi the Nomad and like
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
he's got some decent production credits, but he's one of those people that like music is his only passion. Like he has no vices. He's like that's what he dedicates his time to. And that kind of level of dedication reflects in his work. Like the dude is one of my favorite engineers to work with, hands down.
So when you you said something pretty interesting to me just now. You didn't even mean to say it, that this cat has no vices, right? Music is his only passion. I know for me personally, when it comes to this music stuff, I have a difficulty finding balance where this isn't just all I do, right? Where do you find yourself, like when it comes to writing and making your music and performing and just being a part of this life? How deep are you into it? Would you say that this is something that like you live and breathe and eat it, or are there other facets of you that the people don't really know about that help complete you? You know, is music the thing that fulfills you 100%, or is it, or is there parts of you that like, oh well, I also, you know, I write Pokemon fan fiction on the side. Like, is that what I'm very curious. That's like a personal question. I want to know. Yeah.
No, I like this. I like this, man, because this is stuff I don't necessarily open up to.
Sure.
Open up to as much. So music is a huge part of my life, yes, and especially before I got incarcerated, I seem to have dedicated a large point of my energy and time into it. And I mean, I don't necessarily regret it because it helped me to push my label and push, you know, my whole position in the city to a better place. But reflecting on it, when I had a lot of time to reflect on it, I realized that I can't dedicate solely my time to one passion when I have so many others. Like, I'm a big anime buff. I love gaming. I love
We're gonna circle back to that in a second. We're gonna circle back.
I'm a big food connoisseur. I love travel. You know, I love history. Like, I have a lot of passions, and I mean, obviously, a lot of that reflects in my music. A lot of that can tie back into it. But obviously, I'm a human being. I can't be a one-note song. So I do service a lot of other passions, but I do try to make sure I dedicate a decent amount of time to music. Like, I do a freestyle practice every day. Like, I'll play a few beats and make sure I keep myself sharp and, like, you know, lyrical aerobics, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then you know, when I really have that drive, that's when I'll sit down and like start working on songs. I noticed that when you try to force it, unless you really have this strong precedence, it usually doesn't come out as good as when it just naturally comes to you. Like, it feels, at least to me, my music ends up feeling a kind of stiff.
Okay.
Whereas I like a little bit of a fluency to it. I want it to come naturally, flow like water, so to speak.
When you say it comes out pretty stiff, do you mean just overall? Is there a certain part of it maybe? Like, is it your lyrics, or is it?
I feel like sometimes when I'm really trying to force it, sometimes I try to put too much into a bar, like, and it ends up becoming kind of clustered. And that's more a reflection when, like, my earlier writing style was a little wordy for my taste. Like, a lot of my older music, like, I respect it for what it is, but I think I've definitely come a long way from some of my earlier stuff, to say the least.
Let me just say, and this is not you. I feel like this is I'm going to use the word amateur. But person who's beginning, I think we all get into that stage where it's just too wordy, right? We're just like, bro, say what you have to say, then get out. You don't have
Exactly.
to. You know, we're all a lyrical miracle child at some point.
Yeah,
And
and I mean, I don't mind a little sprinkle of lyricism, man, but
yeah,
unless the track really calls for it and it's like kind of like setting up that setting for it, you don't really need to just go all in. I guess the comfort too is once you've been in a musician for a while, you have this comfort of knowing that you probably have quite a few songs left.
that's the best part. I tell people that all the time, and let me know your thoughts. But I tell people this all the time. You're not the song that you're writing right now is not your magnum opus, you know? So
No.
you have so much more in you that you don't even know. You think like yes, Nas did write Illmatic at what, 19? Was it 19 or 20? He did make
He still has made some absolutely phenomenal records.
and he still continued to make phenomenal records. And before Illmatic, he was still he had stuff before that. So like you've got so much more in the tank. So just
exactly.
any artist,
Like
yeah.
it's like when people said Low End Theory was Tribe's magnus opus, or Midnight Marauders was Tribe's magnus opus, and then they dropped what was the joint they dropped in 2016?
I can picture
Thank
the
you,
thank
for
thank you for trying it. We'll handle it. Thank you for listening. We'll handle it now, or we'll take it from here.
like that.
Yeah,
bro. That shit almost won a Grammy.
that shit went crazy.
Bro,
that shit went...
such an ill record, but that's just a perfect example that no matter how much you think you've written your best, you can always still come up with some phenomenal material.
And on that note, with them, I'm sorry, we're talking about a different artist, but we're gonna come back to you in a second. But we're calling it the 2 seconds of Tribe. That album for me is so emotional. I feel like every time I listen, because Phife Dawg was like, I wanted to be him for like 2 years straight. I was like, Phife Dawg's too cool.
Phife Dawg is still one of my favorite MCs. Like he's easily one of my top 5 heroes,
dude,
without question.
He said, yo, if your moms don't approve, we could just be low. Let me scoop that little man from inside the boat. As a kid, I didn't know what he was talking about, but I was like, hey, yo, that's cool. I don't know what he's talking about, but it's cool. I like that. And the fact that he passed away, that album to me feels like the last bit of his energy. It was like, oh man, I love that album. If I ever find it on vinyl, I'm gonna buy it on the spot. I'm not gonna order it, but I want to buy it. Yeah.
No, I feel the same way about that one as I do about People Under the Stairs last album, because they both kind of had that dichotomy where I think when they made that project, they already knew that those were gonna be like their final songs together.
Yeah.
Because like Double K passed away like a year or so later after Sincerely the P by People Under the Stairs dropped, and then obviously Phife Dawg passed away not too long after that Tribe album dropped. So I think both of them, that emotion that you feel is partially because it was an emotionally charged album they did.
Yeah.
Because they knew it was like their goodbye.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure with that kind of history and legacy and shit, that's hard, especially when you're talking about like someone dying.
Yeah. Yeah. It's. Go ahead.
Sorry. I was gonna say, I think Phife, it was like anemia or something.
Yeah, he had anemia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or at least I'm pretty sure. Let me know. I'm no doctor, and
Yeah.
You know.
I don't have the medical report. I remember it was some kind of health condition that he died from. It wasn't like an overdose or like a car accident or something. It was health complications.
You know, speaking of legacies in hip hop, I know it's very early in both of our careers, right? But I do like to think about this. What do you want to leave? You know, as far as like the Salus Herb legacy,
Ideal Collective legacy, so
Salus Herb Ideal Collective legacy, so to speak. What is your what is your ideal situation? What happens when you're gone, or not even gone? Like you stopped making music for some God forbidden reason.
When I stepped down, or when I finally kind of stepped back and let someone else run the show, so to speak. What's the legacy I intend to leave?
Yes.
I want to leave. I want to leave a legacy of integrity. I want to leave a legacy of supporting creative growth. I want to leave a legacy of providing a bigger platform for the city, giving Austin artists more opportunity to get the shine they deserve,
Mm.
because there's so many talented individuals in the city, and I just feel like the city does not give credit where credit's due. And
Mm.
I think that's the legacy and goal that I'm striving, is to at least do lay bricks on that bridge to finally get us across that. Whatever way I can do that, whether it's to elevate my label to a point we get national recognition, or even just building connections and connecting dots in the local scene to help put everything together. Either way, I'm happy to play my part, no matter what it is.
That's awesome, man. I think with your just your passion, which I believe comes through in your music and your personality and as you are as a person, I don't think in my mind there's any question that you're going to accomplish what you've set out to do. I know you've had some things in your life happen and you haven't strayed from your path, because I feel like you know what your goals are and nothing's going to take you from that. So if you ever feel like you're doubting yourself, take it from me, I don't. Don't do that. If you ever feel like you can't do it, know that I believe in you and everything that you're trying to do, and I think you're going to accomplish that. So
that means a lot, man. Thank
dude,
you.
of course, I wouldn't say it if it wasn't true.
Nah, that's why it means a lot, man. Coming from a place of genuine sincerity.
Yeah, well, I like to keep it real. I kept it real last night. If I didn't like it, I didn't like it. So,
Hey, I love it, man. A lot of the criticisms you gave last night were stuff I've already thought about, and some of the stuff you brought up were stuff that, like, I was like, you know what? We might see if we can try that. And like, it's dope because you're helping me build a better track.
And
like, it's crazy how people will take criticisms and just get so offended. But I guess also it's how you deliver it. Like, you deliver it in a very, like, professional, unbiased standpoint. Like, look, man, I'm just giving you my advice. This is my personal opinion from an engineering and technical standpoint. This is what I think you could do. You know what I'm saying?
I try to. There's rare opportunities that I don't think I get too biased in tracks, but I try to, and I hope it helps out anybody.
I mean, man, you're a human being. You're still gonna have some bias.
Sure.
I noticed the professional approach. Like, from watching the episodes I've seen, it seems like you really do strive to try to make it as constructive as possible and not just make it petty.
Yeah. Hey, man, I try. And but that's the best thing about feedback. And give me your thoughts on this as an artist. Is that, like, ultimately it's up to you whether you want to take it or not. I'm just another guy with an opinion. How do you find yourself handling feedback or even receiving it? What do you do? Somebody tells you.
I always take feedback, especially if it's from a respected peer. Like, obviously, feedback from one of my label mates, or like you, or like someone like Jason or Big Mike, or someone that I know I can actually respect their opinion as an artist, is going to hold a little bit more weight than a stranger. Not that I don't appreciate the opinions of like strangers and fans, but obviously I feel like being a musician gives you a stronger standpoint of understanding music because you've been involved in the whole process. Whereas most fans only see the finished result, unless they're diehard fans, and then maybe they're digging into the process. But you know what I'm saying? The average listener, the average fan is not going to be like that dedicated. That's an unrealistic standard to hold to yourself.
You're absolutely right. I mean, as a creator, you're dealing with that fan having an overload of choices to listen to. So to expect them to dive deep into anything you do, I think that's a little, like you said. What was the word you used? That's
unrealistic.
Unrealistic. It's a little unrealistic. So, so we're running. Yeah.
Oh, no. You go. I was saying, try to dig into artists when I find interest, but even me, I still don't find it.
It's hard, man. It's hard. There's so many artists. I mean,
it's impossible, bro.
I
just listened to the new Joey album that dropped like 2 months ago.
Wow, yeah, man, you're a little behind, but it's good. It's really good. It's really good.
It's the best album of the year.
Oh, really? That's your album of the year?
That's my favorite album of the year, man. It reminded me how much I used to love Static Selector's production.
Okay, so saying that, two things. One, what top 3 albums of this year so far for you? And then, second question, top 3 animes for you.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, we going into this.
Yeah. This is
Okay,
getting clipped, by the way. So.
Baby. Okay, so top 3 albums of this year.
Yeah.
Let me think about it. I'm trying to think of all what got released this year. Obviously, Joey's got to be on there.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably put the Jid album as well.
That was really good.
Really liked his joint. Also, he's coming to Austin in Valentine's Day next year.
He is. Yes.
I'm
and Smino.
I'm almost for sure gonna go. I think me and my girl are gonna go see that. I've been getting
awesome.
into Smino.
Smino's the GOAT. I love him.
Let's see. Third album. Damn. I'm trying to think. Maybe I'd go with like. I think Mick Jenkins dropped an album earlier this year.
Did he?
That was really, really, really good. If I'm not mistaken.
I believe you.
Dropped it this year or last year?
Okay.
Let me double check that, because if he did drop that this year, that definitely have to be it was 11 months ago.
Okay.
No. That was we'll say it was the beginning of this year.
Yeah, but
basically, but it was the what is the name of this album? It's the one that has Gucci Try to Tell Me on it.
Okay.
Elephant in the Room. There you go. That's the name of it.
Gotcha. Okay.
And this is obviously from a personal taste standpoint. Like, I tend to like a little bit more jazzy, like classic kind of conscious rap, but I can still enjoy like a little bit of, just party shit. Like, there's definitely like I have some guilty pleasure artists I enjoy.
First of all, there's no such thing as a guilty pleasure. You just enjoy it. You should never feel guilty for what you enjoy. You know what I mean?
I have no shame about the music I like, but
good.
That's the term the closest term I can think of, because that's the generalized term.
Yeah, I'm giving you a hard time. Yeah.
Oh no, I should say artists that I listen to that you probably think I wouldn't enjoy.
Yeah, that's more accurate. That's probably more accurate.
That's more accurate.
Okay.
Like there's some trap artists that I've listened to, like some local artists, some homies that I enjoy.
Yeah.
But you won't probably see it in my regular rotation. My regular rotation is more gonna be soulful R&B stuff.
Gotcha.
And like hip hop. Like
gotcha.
Hip-hop.
Okay.
Now to address the second.
Yeah, this is the more important one. This is the one that's gonna make or break your fandom right here. This is.
All right. This is really hard because we talking all time or this year.
You know what? Let's do 2. Let's do all time, and then I don't know what's dropped this year other than like animes of mangas. But let's start with all time first.
All time. Let's see. I would have to put One Piece up there. I'm a big One Piece fan. I'm all caught up with the manga. Like I read that every week. Jujutsu Kaisen would have to be up there.
That's a good one.
Out of all the more recent animes, that one is just appealed to me in a lot of ways. I really like how the characters are written. I like the story. The combat is beautifully animated, and it's creative. It's not too cliche.
Yeah.
People have unique abilities, and it builds to the story. You can tell they're just kind of putting pieces in the background, and I like story arcs, but I like also a grander story being told slowly. It kind of gives this like reward and satisfaction at the end. That's why I like One Piece so much. Is literally the end all be all for world building. Like I don't know if there's gonna be an anime anytime soon that's ever gonna compete with One Piece for world building.
It would have to be 1,000 episodes long. Like I at least
try 1,400.
14. Jesus.
I promise you, One Piece is easily got still 200-300 chapters left. There's
Dude.
so many questions, so many things that need to be resolved before they can give a satisfying ending. That
I read the manga when like important things happen. Are you caught up at what happens?
Completely caught up. I have already got the spoilers for 1064 out. Like,
okay.
I was just watching that before.
Okay, all right. Okay. So I'm okay.
You got One Piece, and then this one's tough because I have a couple that are kind of like a tie for third, but they're both kind of a similar style, and
Okay.
that's Trigun and Cowboy Bebop.
Whew, yeah, okay. Those are, you know what's crazy? Similar style, but I think that's because of the era they were in. Because story wise or thematically, I don't think they could be any more different. Like I think
but animation style and just like
the
kind of that
aesthetic.
aesthetic of the era. But yeah, like the reason I like Trigun a lot is I'm a Buddhist, and the whole path of Vash through the series very much appeals to what appeals to me about Buddhism, which is the value of life and like trying to create harmony instead of dissonance. And it's just a really beautiful story for that, because it's Vash basically with the capacity to be an incredibly destructive force trying so hard to go with his nature and what he believes in instead of what everyone else is trying to force on him.
Yeah. No, first of all, I didn't know you were a Buddhist. That's awesome.
A Zen Buddhist specifically.
I see. Yeah, I do like that. I can't think of many shows obviously you have shows where like the protagonist is like, I don't want to I want to be a hero, I don't want to hurt anything, but you don't really have too many shows where the protagonist is literally a force of nature, and it is it is their nature to be that way, and they are and
the justification behind it. It's not just like they explain why he feels that way with this whole upbringing and his brother's betrayal and killing basically their whole entire family, and just how he could see like the corruption of power and abuse, and like how it just mortified him and terrified him.
I really did like it. I
loved it. I love Trigun.
Did you read like so? I didn't know.
It's very different from
different. Very.
The remake that's coming out next year is apparently going to be one for one with the manga.
No way. Okay.
That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
That's going to be grimy. That's going to be grimy.
That's what I was telling my friends. I was like, bro, the ending in the manga is very different. Like, he ends up siding with knives and basically saying "fuck humanity," if I remember right in the manga.
I don't remember the ending as much as I remember like.
It's a lot darker.
I do
more death and much like the anime. That was my only qualm with it, is I feel like they toned down the grittier, darker tones of it to make it a little bit more palatable to a younger audience.
I think they kind of jeopardized their message by doing that too, because
exactly.
I think that's what makes Vash so cool, is that in spite of all of this other stuff, he's still trying to do the right thing.
He's still the shining beacon of light and like this void of darkness.
Right, which I appreciate that.
I love it. That's a big inspiration. I mean, you can tell just how I reflect in my music and stuff, how like that kind of influence comes across.
So let's talk about that. And actually, before we jump into that, two things. We're running out of time again. So I'd like to listen to one of your songs that's unreleased, if that's okay with you.
Yeah.
And then we can dive into that, and I'd like to understand if
I'd like to break down the album
yeah,
a little
if we could break it down.
Before I go.
So before we jump in, thank anybody who's stayed with us this far. This has been awesome. Thank you for rocking with us. If you like this, please make sure you like and subscribe. If you want to chat with us, we're all on the Discord. The link is going to be in the description, and it's in the bio. We're Underground Voices. We're a community that's here to build up the artist and help build each other up.
Super cool community, man. Super cool community. I love it.
No one man is an island, and we're here to help each other out. And with that being said, we're going to jump into a track off of Salus Herb's unreleased project. It's not untitled. Is it?
Cool Cat Raps #3.
Cool Cat Raps #3. I'm not going to say anything else about it. I'm just going to jump in, and we're going to...
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it a little bit later. But this is the intro to the album. That's all I'll say for right now.
Awesome. And the track's title is...
The Begun one.
Begun.
Begun.
All right.
It's named after the beat right now.
Awesome. Well, this is Begun by Salus Herb. Let's peep this real quick. If my computer... I guess I should have downloaded it beforehand. I was playing it through the browser.
Oh, you good, fella.
Yeah. Here we go.
Well,
Boom.
while we're waiting,
Yeah.
guys,
You
I'll
want to
kind
give
of
some background
describe.
to it?
Yeah. So the project is a collaboration with me and this producer from just outside of Houston named Phoenix. Why Phoenix?
Okay.
And he's a lo-fi producer as well as an MC that's been in the game for quite a while, like since like the late '90s.
Wow.
I met him through MC Righteous. He's a friend and associate of MC Righteous's, so we kind of connected up through there. But I wanted to do a lo-fi project. That was specifically my first and foremost intention when I started that project. So the project's title was Lo-Fi's and New Highs. So obviously you could see the intention was very clearly evident in even the title. As for like the actual concept and theme of it, it is a lot of it has to boil down to like the battling of like understanding yourself and like self-reflection while also how to push forward and use that to elevate you to a higher level instead of just letting it set you back.
Okay.
So the album will be a lot more in person, in like internal reflection than necessarily like social commentary.
Okay. That sounds like a very what's the word I'm looking for? You know what? Let's just dive into it. I don't want to talk anymore because I feel like the more I say, I'm building expectations. Let's jump into this. Begun by Salus Herb off of his unreleased project. Let's go. Boot this up.
Yo, Phoenix, I think it's time we throw it back for them for a second. Cool cat raps with the hats never slack. Never fall flat on the track for my craft. Make a tall stack, not to brag but to pass. All the strong facts fight the lag for my class. That sunset jet set, my iris is blessed. From regret to success, my mind goes fetch. The farthest reaches I could ever go. Impossible, the recipe for all of us to grow. Let it show from my heart out my mouth to supporting my family with a dollar amount. Fuck all the clout, I do it for my soul, for my family, for my friends, for the earth as a whole. Whoa, yeah, I'm speaking out of line, but I'm shooting for my center parts of my design. Pushing a little deeper, hoping I will find the jewels to my kingdom, my road to my shine. My life is my time, my moment is my way. My soul is my treasure, my actions are my faith. My dreams, my salvation, my highs just a taste. My strength, my absolution, my sins, my toxic waste.
We're gonna make to that song is a sample we're gonna cut at the end right there for that outro.
Yeah, that was groovy. That was Begun by Salus Herb, unreleased. Make sure you follow him. What's your Instagram?
It's
for the people.
It's Salus Herb and then ATX17.
Bet. So if you see it on the screen, that's how it's spelled, guys, right there. ATX17 at the end of it. So we're running to the end of this session. Therapy session. We're running.
Man, this is like a fireside chat with fucking FDR. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, that's what this is all about, man. This is not. We're not trying to get too big for our britches here. We just make music. This isn't brain surgery, but it is for the heart and it's from the heart. You know what I'm saying?
It's artists talking to artists, man.
So, as an artist, before we get going, is there anything you want to plug that the people need to know about that I can clip so when we post it, like, hey, don't forget this shit. What are you excited about? What do you love? What do you need to speak on?
All right. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, Ideal Collective is back in full swing since I have returned, and we have releases after releases for you that I want you to be incredibly attentive for because these projects are phenomenal. We got Cap Lewis dropping a project in Halloween called the Black Mass Tape.
Mm.
We got Roski dropping a project in November called Hunting Season. That is both of them. I've heard tracks from them, and just trust me, you will not be disappointed. They're absolutely incredible. And then I have Lo-Fi's and New Highs dropping late January, early February with an album release show, which I am actually hoping that you will be able to open for us.
Oh yeah, of course. I would love to.
Yeah. And then after that, I have Righteous Salvation 2, which is my collab with MC Righteous. That obviously you've showcased a few tracks from yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have my sequel to Humble Prophets called Starbound that me and Darks are working on. That one I'm not giving a release date because we are going to take our time. We want this
Take your time
to not only be better than Up From Here, which was already a really, really good project. Like, that's by far one of the projects I'm most proud of. But also, like, just elevate the whole label to a whole different standard.
Yes,
like,
sir.
We might even be pulling big features. Like, we got to see what the budget is like and what we can work. But I'm not gonna say name.
Guys, that is Salus Herb. We're gonna bring him right back for this stream. On the edits, we're gonna cut this part out. That was Zoom telling us we need to shut the hell up and keep it moving. And honestly, we are keeping it moving. In our defense, we are keeping it moving. And one of these days, we're gonna get this thing fixed. We're gonna bring him back so we can finish up his bit and keep this party going. Guys, this is Salus Herb again of Diligence Ideal Collective, one of the coolest cats in the city. This has been honestly a really fun time talking to him. I don't get many opportunities to speak with him. We're both very busy, but he's doing a lot of big things. So if you get the opportunity to follow him and check him out, please do. Go ahead and support this cat. One of the nicest people I've had the opportunity to meet in the city of Austin. And I say that with no hesitation. I say that with no hesitation and just a tiny bit of hyperbole. My main man, he is connecting. Is he back?
Yeah, I'm back.
There he is. All right. There it is. That's not on you. That's on Zoom telling us that we're done. That's
all right. So, like I'm saying, we have Starbound with me and Darks.
Right.
I'm really excited about the features, all the beats, and like stuff we've already built from it. I'm really, really like eager to like get out and show people because I think it's just a development as an artist. Like I feel like the stuff I'm writing now is so much better than even the stuff I was writing 2 years ago.
Exciting.
Besides that, I have a collaboration with Ruler Y, who's another really, really incredibly talented producer out of Austin.
I know that name.
He's done stuff with like Killer Priest and like Cool Key and K Reno. Like he's done production credits for some pretty decent, like pretty big names. You know what I'm saying? Like K Reno is a legend, and Cool Keith is literally an OG legend.
Yeah, Cool Keith is one of the GOATs in my opinion. I really
Cool Keith is amazing, and I think he's criminally slept on.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Well, he's only slept on to the people that don't matter. No disrespect, but like
also down here, like you go up.
And
stuff, and I'm sure Cool Keith is a much more household name.
Yeah. Up north
It's
for
like
sure.
Zero, It's like Zero down here is a household name.
Oh.
If you go to other parts of the country, they would be kind of confused. Some might know him, but I don't think he quite has like national pull.
Yo, I always this is very funny to me personally. I don't know if this is funny to anybody else, but it's very funny to me. So like living in Austin, there's a lot of white people, and I tend to pretty much only basically date white girls here, not because for any other reason. They just get to me first. But
it just happens like that.
It just happens like that, and every time they bring up Zero, I'm like, damn girl, how do you know? What?
Bro, I'm telling you,
everybody knows.
Every motherfucker in high school bumped Zero, UGK,
everybody,
man. That's what people were drinking to, smoking to. Like that was the party music, man.
Didn't matter who you were. It's like,
that was the Texas thing, bro.
Yes, sir.
Just like that.
Yes, sir. Well, man,
No,
yeah.
it'd be like that, bro. Like very few girls I've met have not listened to Zero. Or
It's the
Trey.
Texas ones though. It's the Texas ones though. We got to be
Oh
specific.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the
Oh
Texas
yeah, yeah,
ones.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Let me rephrase that. I'm specifically talking about the experiences I've had with meeting women in Austin and San Antonio.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah, I feel you for sure.
People I meet outside of the state, I don't usually bring up Texas artists because they're
No.
probably not gonna know them.
No, they're not gonna get it. But yeah, but yo, man, um, thank you so much for this. Honestly, like we need to do a catch up in like a month or two to see where you're at and see what's popping,
man. And
dude.
by then, I'll probably have some tracks recorded and probably mastered by then, so we could probably showcase some of the rest of lo-fi
Yeah.
New Highs by then, because it's a 10-track album.
Hell yeah.
It's got features from pretty much almost all the Ideal members on it.
Oh, perfect. I'm excited then. I really want to check that out. Let's tap back. Excuse me. Let's tap back in a month or two. Probably not around Christmas because it's Christmas, but let's tap back in because I want to.
Maybe
Yeah.
December or something.
Yeah. Early December or something. And yeah, man. Also, let's just hang out more often. Whenever we're free.
I would love to get a studio session in sometime, man. I would
Dude,
love to
absolutely.
create a track with you and just I feel like we could make something fucking absolutely gas, bro.
Oh man, I'm gonna send you some beats after this.
Let me
I'll
check them out. I'll put some pen to them, man. And if I write something really dope, bro, I'll be like, yo, man, I got something ill for this. Let's link up sometime soon, and we'll work something out, bro.
Hell yeah, man. Let's link up. Guys, this has been awesome. Thank you for joining and listening and sticking with us as we explored the artistry of the man that is Salus Herb. One more applause for the main man himself.
For anyone that tunes in later after this is posted, I can't appreciate it enough. The fan base and people that take interest and actually want to hear my story. So thank you so much.
Right on, man. That was beautiful. So thank you once again. I'm P. Miller. I started Underground Voices, and it's for the people. We're here to uplift the artist and bring everybody together. So if you like this video, please go ahead and subscribe. If you liked me, go ahead and like the video and comment down below what you liked about it. And join the Discord so we can talk music and make a bigger connection, man, because that's what it's about. It's about who you know, and it's about connecting and making this web bigger. So again, I'm P. Miller, and I will holler at you guys next time. Thank you so much for joining. And we are out of here.